Well, in Rome this evening is Cardinal Vincent Nichols, the Archbishop of Westminster. Great to see you this evening. Thank you very much for your time. And just before we start to chat, let's remind ourselves of the moment that the white smoke emerged yesterday and the rapturous reaction in St. Peter's Square. So when the white smoke emerged, huge cheers. It was breaking news around the world. That was the scene outside the Sistine Chapel. What I'm interested in knowing is what was the mood inside? What was the reaction inside once you had all learnt the name of the new Pope?
Well, we didn't exactly cheer and wave our arms, but there was great excitement and jubilation. Partly that a very difficult task had been done, and the crucial moment, of course, was when Cardinal Prevost was asked, "Do you accept?" And he said, with great calmness, "I accept." And then he was asked, "And what name will you take?" And he said, "Leo." And at that point, there was a wonderful sense of, OK, we've done our best, we've done our bit, and this is going to be good.
The Conclave, of course, is shrouded in secrecy, and we hear a lot about the process, about quiet conversations in corridors, about whispered debate over meals. Can you paint a picture for us? What was it like in the run-up to that announcement?
Well, I think the whole thing changed on Tuesday evening when most of the elector cardinals went to the residence, the Santa Marta residence, and we were sealed in. You know, mobile phones didn't work, we couldn't open the shutters, it was the secrecy was very important. And that gave a great calm in there, more than I ever expected. And quite frankly, for me, it's been quite a profound spiritual experience, an experience of being with fellow cardinals who all share the same dedication, with our eyes and hearts focused on one thing, and that is trying to discern what God wants. In whose heart did God write the name Pope? Because he was in there, and we just had to try and discern who he was. But I would like to say that, unlike in the film, there was no rancour, there was no explosions of unknown quantities. And in fact, the whole time I didn't hear a raised voice or a voice that was trying to do somebody else down, or even a voice that was saying, "Please vote for me." It was far more calm and recollected than that. It was a wonderful experience, frankly. I went in a bit fearful, a bit intimidated. But once we were together, I found it really remarkable and very life-giving, actually.
That's fascinating. We did hear from the brother of Pope Leo today, who said that he, in fact, had watched the film Conclave almost as preparation for going in. It sounds like you had seen the film as well.
No, I'm sorry, I haven't seen the film. I've read the book. And in many ways it was different because of the needs for a plot of a novel. But I think the details, as what everybody has described to me, were very accurate. And certainly the rule book that we followed is meticulous. So this was a process over which great detail and great care was taken, and it needed patience. So actually I learned a bit of patience to take things slowly.
And I don't know if you're allowed to answer this question, but was Pope Leo your first choice?
Let me say that when I came to Rome, I had a list in my mind of 3 or 4 possible candidates. He was certainly among them. The list changed a bit as the 10 days and 12 days went by, but he was never off my list.
Today, the new Pope has called for the Catholic Church to desperately counter a lack of faith. Those were his words in his first Mass. How do you think he'll do that? Do you think the Catholic Church needs modernising, and how will he try and achieve that?
Well, I think what we had in Pope Francis was a remarkable expression of the beauty and the richness of the gospel of Jesus Christ, particularly mercy, forgiveness, hope, try again, get up, don't lose your dignity. Nobody should be robbed of their dignity. Now, I think what Pope Leo is going to try and do is say, those things are the work of everybody. He wants a missionary church, not simply a missionary pope. And so that's where it then comes down to every parish, every community. Here's a man who's been the bishop of a poor diocese in which he found people with great faith and great motivation. And I know that in the Diocese of Westminster, the energy of the church often lies in the humblest of people who get on and build their lives and those around them with a dignity and a worth. What the Pope has to do is try and keep this all together. And I think he's got great skills in finding ways through problems, whether they're organisational or personal, and keeping the show on the road and keeping a great sense of we are in this together. And at the heart of it is our devotion and the love of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's very interesting what you're saying. As a cardinal, he was fairly critical, wasn't he, of the new administration in the United States. Do you think that will be an issue going forward? How will he navigate that?
Well, I'm not sure he'll have an exclusive eye on the United States. In one sense, he's now even more a citizen of the world. So his range of interests is going to be clearer. But questions around immigration touch every nation almost, pretty well without exception. And it's just a question of how we understand progress. Pope Francis had a lovely expression. If you want to know how good your economy is, then go and ask an unemployed person. And there'll be a similar approach, I think, from Pope Leo, because they come from the same stock. He's an Augustinian from Augustine from the 5th century. And if people look at what Augustine said, then they'll find that reflected in this Pope Leo, I'm quite sure.
And just finally, as we watch the white smoke once more come from the chimney, it's been a very intense few weeks, I'm sure, for you. Just reflect on the last few days, the last few weeks.
Well, for me, the last few days, especially the Conclave, strictly speaking days, have been a wonderful experience, frankly. I was, as I said, a bit intimidated, but I found them to be life-giving, to be a growth of confidence in me and my fellow cardinals, and therefore a great hope for the Church as we continue our pilgrim journey. It's been really an excellent time for me.
It's good to hear. Cardinal Nichols, Archbishop of Westminster, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.